Hello. Okay, so this isn't a perfect setup, but I thought it would be a little bit easier to see the leaflets I've got to show you here. So you should have already looked at some examples of leaflets, but I've got two more here that we can look at together. So let's look at this first one here. Go Ape is like a obstacle course type thing where you go on a rope and you climb around. You might have been there before. But the heading on this leaflet says, "Hello, Adventure Seeker." So this heading is actually talking to the person who's reading the leaflet and calling them an adventure seeker. What do you think they might have done that for? So they did that to make people think, oh, I'm an adventure seeker, so I must have to read this leaflet. And at the top here it says new adventures and new locations, and calling something new is going to draw somebody to it even more because they would want to see all of the new things that are on offer. So that's really important for a leaflet to do as well. And on the front we've got this picture here. This picture is very eye-catching. It shows this lady on a rope and she's about to swing down into the trees, and it almost makes you wonder what's going to happen when she gets down into the trees, doesn't it? And it's got this question on the front: are you ready? Let's do it. And then it's got a little arrow as if to tell you to open the leaflet. So if we open it up to this first page, so it's got live life adventurously. So this is a subheading, isn't it? And it's got life would be so dull without adventure. Our breathtaking locations are the perfect place to get the blood pumping. Challenge yourself and have a laugh with your tribe. Get to know them all at goape.co.uk/days out. And then it's got places where you can go to get more information about the Go Ape website. We've got an expanded noun phrase here, breathtaking locations. And then it's got get the blood pumping, challenge yourself and have a laugh. So it's got all the things that you can do at Go Ape, but it's describing them in a really interesting way. So it's got the different headings, treetop adventure, and it's got more expanded noun phrases. Digs off. So here it says treetop adventure, and it's got more expanded noun phrases. High-speed zips, free-fall Tarzan swings, and daring crossings. And can you see it's using really exciting adjectives as well? High speed, free-fall, daring. And then it's got interesting sentence starters as well. Hitting heights of up to 30 meters. And then get your tribe's blood pumping. So it's not just telling you all of the things that you can get at Go Ape, it's trying to advertise to them and persuade you to go. And then if we look at this part, it's got come and find us, which Go Ape will you take on? And so it's got all of the different Go Apes that you can find here and information about where you can go. And then it's got a colour code here, so it's saying which Go Ape courses are available at which location. So that's really important to have, is information about where to go and where you can find the place. And then it's got another nice picture at the back. And at the back, something that some leaflets like to include are reviews of the place that they're advertising. So at the back here, it's got bring the whole tribe. It's got a Trustpilot review, which gives it 5 stars. So that's showing you, when you're reading it, that this is a really good place to go and that's where you're going to want to go. Okay, now let's look at this example. This one says experience Stoke-on-Trent 2018/19. So it's not just saying go to Stoke-on-Trent, it's using a really interesting verb that captures your attention. Experience Stoke-on-Trent. So you're not just going there, you're having a really good experience. And then again, we've got some really nice pictures here. This is showing you the different things that you can do there. And then it's got the website and the logo for the city on it. And I like the colour scheme on this one. I think it's got bright colours and I think it really draws your attention to it. If we turn the page. So here we've got another really interesting verb, explore the world capital of ceramics. So that's definitely something that we want to see in Stoke-on-Trent is a city built on a history of industrial greatness and creative artistic flair. We've seen a resurgence of all things that made the city great. From pottery to performing arts and everything in between, we're home to world-class attractions, incredible talents and creative businesses. So here, we've got commas in a list again: world-class attractions, incredible talents and creative businesses. So we've got expanded noun phrases. Can you spot the adjectives in this sentence? So we've got world-class, incredible, creative. So we want to build up a really good bank of interesting adjectives to really attract people to your island when you make a leaflet for it. A city full of proud people, Stoke-on-Trent is a city moving forward. Come and experience a new chapter in our city's remarkable story. There's another good adjective there. And you can tell with both of these leaflets, if we look at the writing on both of them, so you can see here, they're not quite the same, but similarly, they've both got headings: Treetop Adventure, Stoke-on-Trent is the world capital of ceramics. They've both got headings, and they've both got writing that's split into very clear paragraphs, and it's written so that it's really easy to follow and not writing all over the place and really confusing. So here we've got another heading, the Potteries, and then it's got pictures of all the things that you can make. Factory tours, outstanding visitor centres and museums, and hands-on opportunities, including the chance to throw your hand at the potter's wheel. So then another interesting heading, Shop Till You Drop. It's got really useful information for you. So it's got a map of the UK and it's showing you how to get there. So what it's got here is it's labelled all the motorways. So it's showing you how to get to Stoke-on-Trent via a motorway. It's got little symbols showing airports and all of the main cities. So it's really useful. And then it's got some written instructions here split into paragraphs. So road, rail, air. Tell us if you need this information in an alternative format. And then it's got the website at the bottom of each page to remind you to go and visit the website. Okay, so next we're going to create a checklist and a success rainbow for making your own leaflets. Okay, hello. So now we're going to be making our success rainbow for when you make your own leaflets about the island that you're going to research in tomorrow's literacy lesson. So in this first red box here, in fact, pause the video now, and before we carry on, I want you to see if you can put your own steps to success in the rainbow before we go through it together. So have a think about what you think a really successful leaflet should be based on the features we've already looked at. Okay, so I've looked at the red box here, and I think the fundamental things that we really need to remember, that we've got no excuses to forget, are appropriate capital letters. So have a think, where do we need capital letters? So we need capital letters at the beginning of sentences and capital letters for proper nouns. So the names of things, names of places or people. And we definitely need full stops. So think about where you will need full stops at the end of sentences. But it might not just be full stops. You need to check that you're getting the right punctuation. So if it's a question, you need a question mark. Or if it's an exclamation, you might want an exclamation mark too, because that might make your writing a bit more exciting. And lastly, we definitely need to check as we go along that it makes sense. So every time you write a sentence, stop and read the sentence back to yourself to make sure that it makes sense. Okay. So for our yellow box, I think the next most important thing we need to remember, if you remember from when we were looking at these leaflets, is definitely remembering our expanded noun phrases. So making sure you're getting those really interesting adjectives and describing everything that the person's going to be able to do on your island. And secondly, remembering commas in the list. That was quite common in the leaflets, wasn't it? We saw lots of commas in a list because you're going to want to make a lot of lists about the activities you're going to be able to do on the island. So for pink, we're going to want to think about our tense. So if I just read a little bit of this Stoke-on-Trent leaflet. We have a remarkable array of ceramic factory shops selling everything imaginable. As well as being the world's best ceramic shopping destination, Stoke-on-Trent has other great opportunities too. The shopping village at Trentham is home to 77 timber lodges housing amazing shops, cafes and restaurants, set in a lovely friendly village atmosphere. Is that past tense or present tense? It's present tense, so that's what we need to make sure our writing is in. And I'm going to put second person in this box. And what second person means is that you're talking to the reader. So you want to be using, so we have 3 different persons that we can write in. First person is I, or me, or we, which you might use some of. You might say, we have an amazing array of activities to do. So you might use we as well. Mostly, we're going to want to be using second person, you, because you're talking to the reader. You're saying you should, or you can, or you will. You will be able to swim in the sea, or something like that. And then our third person, which we're not using here, just for information, is he or she or it. He or she or it. And that's what you might write a story in. But don't worry about the other 2 for now. We're just worrying about making sure we're saying you. So in our green box is another very important box. This is where we're putting all of the features to do with leaflets. So firstly, we've got headings and subheadings. Those are really important, along with paragraphs, to make sure our writing is split into clear sections and paragraphs. Thirdly, we probably want to make sure we've got a really eye-catching design, because we've got to make sure people are attracted to the leaflet and want to read it. And we want to make sure we include pictures as well. So now we're moving on to the orange. This is what we want to do to go even more above and beyond to make our leaflet extra good. So this is where we're really starting to challenge ourselves. And something I think you can do to really challenge yourself is use what we call persuasive language. And that is making the reader want to go to your place, go to your island. Now I'm going to leave the purple box, because I think the purple box should be something that you decide that you really want to aspire to. What do you think you can do to challenge yourself and make your leaflet go above and beyond? Okay, so now let's look at the blue, and blue is where our editing goes. So when we go back and edit the leaflet, what are we going to be looking out for? So this is going to be things like making sure we've got the correct punctuation. So that includes capital letters as well. So looking really carefully back through, and definitely read it out loud to yourself, because otherwise, if you read it in your head, you're going to be reading what you think it says, not what it actually says. And sometimes that means that you can miss mistakes. Even I do it sometimes when I write something and I don't read it out loud. I miss little mistakes that I make. And remember, it's okay to not get it perfect the first time. Remember, we're always looking at how we can improve and make it even better on our second try. So we're looking at punctuation, replacing any missing words, maybe looking for some spellings, especially year 2 tricky words. And maybe even swapping words. So if we've got a pretty boring adjective like big or nice, maybe we can get a thesaurus or get a word map to help you and see if you can replace it with a more exciting word. For example, if we've got there's a big tower, you can instead have there's an enormous tower, or a gigantic or colossal. There are lots of different words that you could maybe swap with and make better choices to make your writing even better. Okay. So I'm going to put a blank copy of this in with your home learning sheet, and also this filled in copy, so it's up to you which one you want to use. Okay? I hope you're excited about creating your own leaflets on Thursday. Bye! Now you should have already looked. That's really helpful. Thank you. So here, and it's got different headings and then sections of writing. My dog is currently trying to make me play with the squeaky egg. Not now, Digby. I've just taken him on a walk. I don't know why he's still got so much energy. Diggs!